Great Heatwave. One day, the Fat Controller came to the shed with some special news. 2 diesels visiting the island with Samantha from the Railway Museum. You might remember them from the Heatwave of 1976. Who are they? Are they Mark and Peak? Asked Gordon. Yes. Engines were delighted. They were looking forward to seeing those 2 diesels again. That evening, Samantha pulled into the shed with Mark and Peak behind. Aren't you pleased to see these 2 diesels again? She said. Oh, why indeed we are, replied Gordon. Why is it not you, dear Peak? You did a sterling job with the express in my absence.
It's been many years since I've seen you, Gordon, and you still look the same as you did back in 76.
Oh, Mark! Long time no see, eh? Said Henry. I'd say the same about you too, Henry, laughed Mark.
Thank goodness we don't have that, what's his name, that troublesome one.
Sulzer? Said Mark.
Oh yes, that was him.
Oh, don't worry, he's been long scrapped.
Oh, thank goodness,
said James. Well, make yourselves comfortable. Then, Samantha began to recount what happened to her in 1976. I was over in the southern region, she said. I was taking excursion trains with a brother of mine called Steve. Oh, he was a jolly chap. You should have listened to him one day. Oh, what a lovely day it is today. All the sun's out, everybody's going to the seaside. Oh, isn't it marvellous? Oh, look! There's an excursion train from Waterloo coming past. Oh, Steve, you are optimistic, I said. Oh, that's the thing about it, you know. I'm taking a train to Portsmouth. All my passengers are going over to the Isle of Wight today. So, what happened on the island during the heatwave of 1976? Asked Samantha. You've heard it from my perspective, so what about yours?
Well, said Edward, it goes something like this.
And the engines all joined in. Summer of 1976. It was the hottest and driest summer for many years, and in some places there had been no rain for months. Grass was dry, everywhere was hot. Water was at a premium. One day, Percy was at Maithwaite Station when Harold was there.
Feel that, Percy,
said Harold from above.
It's dry weather means a high chance of vegetation combustion.
What does that mean?
Quizzed Percy.
Wildfires,
replied Harold. Buzzed away.
Wildfires?
Asked Percy.
Are there fires that go wild?
No, replied his driver. They are when dry grass catches on fire and it spreads across because there's nothing to stop it.
I see,
replied Percy. Anyway, let's get you some water. The fireman looked glum. There's no water here today, he said. We'll just have to make it to the top station, then we can give Percy some water. The Fat Controller heard this, and he had to make a very difficult decision. That evening, he came to the sheds with the news.
I have had to come to a very difficult decision. Water, as you all know, is at a premium. When coupled with the risk of wildfire with a spark from any of your smokestacks, I have decided to hire 5 diesels from the other railway that will do your work until the heat wave passes, and there is sufficient water to get you running again.
Engines were shocked. Me? Not pulling the express? And a diesel pulling it too? Oh, the indignity.
If you have to hire any diesels, said James, why can't you get Bear or Borkle to do it?
They won't be enough to do it alone,
said the Fat Controller sternly. Rosie then pulled in. sir, with all due respect, you can't do this. I've worked in hotter and dry areas than this, and we've still had an adequate supply of water.
I've made up my mind, said the Fat Controller. Sorry, Rosie, but my decision is final.
Rosie said no more. The Diesels arrived the next day. They were being escorted to the sheds by Paxton. There you are, he said. Here is your shed. This will be your accommodation during your stay on our railway. And he left to do some shopping. One of the Diesels, called Sulzer, began complaining.
What is this?
He grumbled.
Why are we taking this shed here? Look! Steam kettles! Modernization has clearly not reached this part of the rails.
Two twin Diesels, Joe and John, spoke up. You know, it's their railway, and we're working on a mutual cooperation here. We must respect the fact that this controller has decided to keep steam on his railway. Grumbled Sulzer, and then the Diesels inspected the sheds.
This isn't inconvenient,
complained Sulzer.
Why do we have to be in a shed next to those old steam kettles who are stuck in theirs? Just be thankful Sir Topham has provided us accommodation,
replied Pete sternly. Yes indeed, replied Mark. We won't have anywhere to sleep at night if it wasn't for him. He's a very generous man, and we've got to pay him back by working hard. The Fat Controller came, signed them to their jobs. He was to take the express. Mark was to take Henry's goods train and its passengers. Sulzer was to take slow goods and passengers. Joe and John were to take heavy freight. Bear arrived to escort Pete to Knapford Station to take the express. And while the other Diesels started their jobs, Thomas and Percy were worried.
What if the Fat Controller has to replace us with the Diesels? Daisy and Mavis can't do the work alone.
I know, said Thomas, but we're lucky that we don't use as much water as the big engines. Our drivers are very careful to conserve water, but for how long? That evening, Mark had to take the flying kipper. He had not taken a fish tray before, and he was surprised at the smell of fish. Oh my goodness, he gasped. Oh, what a smell! Phew! I wonder how Henry copes with this smell. No, what's this train called again? The flying kipper, said a workman. It's a special fish train, and Henry has called it for years, and you'll be pulling it tonight. Oh no, I wasn't complaining about pulling the train, said Mark. I was complaining about the smell. You'll see, I'm just not used to the smell of fish, you know. I mean, other deals that I know have worked with fish trains, but not me. I am in no way refusing work. I will do this. That's fine, said the workman. That's what you were brought here to do. Yes, but the smell. Oh, dearie me. I still wonder how Henry copes. When the guard's whistle blew, Mark set off with the flying kipper. He began to forget about the smell and then enjoy pulling the train. Oh, this is the life! If it wasn't for the smell of this fish, it would be like a normal express goods train, which I really do like pulling. As Mark passed Kildare, Sulzer, who was pulling a mail train, made another insult.
Phew! Why do you have to pull this train? It's so smelly. It smells of fish. Clearly the steamers should pull a train like this, not a diesel engine. Yeah.
Mark took no notice. He was already out of earshot. Next morning, Joe and John came over to the Little Western to take the ballast trains, while Donald and Douglas were in the sheds because of the low water. "And who might you be?" "We're Joe and John, and I suppose you're Donald and Douglas." "Hey, that's right," grumbled Douglas. "You have no right to be taking our work. You have just locked us in our sheds. We've got nothing to do, and yet you keep bumbling around, taking over our work." "Quiet," said Doug. "It's on orders of the Fat Controller. Also, have you not noticed they are twins too?" Yes, we have." And after a chat in which Donald and Douglas regretted their initial insults, Joe and John set off with the ballast train. Sulzer, on the other hand, was taking a passenger train. He had to pass the engine shed. He decided to stop and give the engines a few of his own words.
Isn't it a pity? You are all stuck in your sheds while we are doing your work. This is clearly if modernisation had hit this island. All of you would be in the scrapyards and diesels would reign supreme."
"Don't be patronising," said Edward.
"I'm not being patronising,"
said Sulzer.
"I'm just talking the truth, you know. The cold hard truth. That you should all be in the scrapyard. Dieselisation is the way forward. See you tin cans in the scrapyard."
It's hot, it's hot, it's hot. We're stuck in our sheds while the sun's overhead and our crews are all alone. It's hot, it's hot, it's hot. While there is no water, we stare at the mortar and the summer traffic on the road. It's so hot. The Fat Controller does the rain dance, but there is no real chance of there being rain anytime soon, 'cause it's hot. Basking in the heat, it feels more like Crete than our lush green island of Sodor this summer. The ground is so dry, it's no wonder why we're stuck in this rut and this fine. How do you do? Because it's hot. It really has been hot. Still no luck with the rain. This weather's just a pain. We've seen days and days without rain. It is just way too hard. We're running out of patience. We want to be at the stations. We want to go out and pull trains. It's too hot. Still day after day, the sun shines anyway. We're out of a job because of this heat. Our water tanks feel like they are full of concrete. Why it's so hot we just can't comprehend. Oh, for goodness sake, will this heat wave end? It's been too hot for too long, that's why we're seeing this song. Being stuck in the shells causes to no end. The Fat Controller keeps trying, but the rain just isn't working, as there hasn't been any rain over the weekend. It is just too bloomin' hot. That night in the sheds, Sulzer was arguing with the other diesels.
You frankly don't have the gumption to see the potential in dieselisation of this outdated railway.
And you frankly don't have the gumption to show us respect, barked back Gordon.
Now, don't answer back at him, said Pete. He's just up his own radiator. He'll probably never learn sense.
Sense? Sense? Common sense is what this control of the railway is lacking. I mean, keeping you old kettles in service, and when there's a heat wave, he has to bring us in? Does he call that common sense? Really now?
Or perhaps you need to go to the out-of-use siding, said Joe and John. I agree, said Mark.
Ha!
And how about you go to the scrapyard instead? We would much rather do your work if it was not for this heat wave. We pretty much hate being stuck in the shed. Although we might go to the works to have some boiler tests since we're not in service.
Ha! The likelihood. They'll likely cut you up for scrap.
Enough! Barks Mark. I would like some shut-eye, because I've got a busy train to pull tomorrow. So, please, put a fella cap in it. A few days later, on Thomas's branch line, Thomas was running some limited passenger trains to supplement days, while Percy was trying to help Mavis with the heavy goods load. Oh, this train is so heavy. I can't do it on my own, said Mavis.
I'll help you as much as I can, said Percy.
Thomas, who was taking Annie and Clarabelle out, was nearly out of water. Any chance of getting any water? Groaned Thomas. I'm sorry, said his fireman. All the water stops we've tried are out of commission, because there's no water supply. Unless... There's one near Elsbridge, but it connects to the sea, and you should only really use it in emergencies. Well, this is an emergency. Thomas nearly has no water. Well, I don't really much like the taste of seawater myself, but I mustn't let the passengers down. So when they got to Elsbridge, Thomas filled up with the seawater. What a taste. Pete rushed by with the express. He gave a friendly hoot on his horn, but Thomas was too caught up with the salt water to whistle back. Well, it's better than nothing, groaned Thomas as he pulled away. It's better than nothing, it's better than nothing, it's better than nothing, it's better than nothing. But as he puffed down the line, the salt began to clog his works. Driver, I need a drink, groaned Thomas. Driver turned on the feed pump, but no water came. Oh, I am such a pain! I am such a pain! Groaned Thomas. They damped down his fire and struggled on until Thomas stopped in a cloud of steam. Oh, bother! Groaned the driver. We're going to have to get help. Go to the nearest signal box and I'll drop his fire. Soon enough, Joe and John came to rescue Thomas. Oh my, Thomas, this doesn't look good. How did this happen? I had to take on seawater, said Thomas. Well, that is not healthy for any engine. This reminds us of the time when we took on faulty fuel and we broke down as a result. So they took Thomas to Knapford, where Bertie was waiting to take on the passengers. But as luck would have it, Sulzer was there too.
Oh, what's this? An engine? A steamy? Broken down? And all by salt water, so I hear. No need to get all salty in the boiler. Shut up, barked Thomas.
He's right, you know, said Pete. You have been nothing but insolent towards those engines. Weren't we supposed to work with mutual respect for the steam engines?
Oh, what nonsense,
grumbled Sulzer.
I haven't got time to talk. I've got a passenger train to pull.
He was pulling out of Knapford when it happened.
Ow! Ow! My traction motor! Ah!
All the engines burst out with laughter. Oh, isn't this totally ironic? Laughed Pete.
You were laughing at the engine for breaking down, but now you broke down yourself.
Well, said John, I suppose I'll be pulling you to the works. A couple of weeks later, Henry and Gordon were at Trainz Gate. They were undergoing boiler maintenance, seeing as they were not in service due to the heat wave. They were being steamed up when Henry noticed the clouds darkening. Those clouds look ominous, said Henry. I have a feeling they do, said Gordon. But all the same, it might be a silver lining. We might be getting rain at last. You're not wrong there. Driver said there may be storms forecast. But they were interrupted by the most peculiar sound. Mark pulled in with his engine, coughing and spluttering because of contaminated fuel he took on. Oh no! I can't go any further! Mark came to a stop, and the workmen went into his engine room to try and see if they could stop his engine. And with an almighty bang, there was silence at last. I need to be steamed up pretty quickly, said Henry. I need to rescue Mark. He's broken down. We can only steam you up as quickly as your boilers will let you, said the workman. But Henry insisted. Get some fuel from Mark's tank to put in my firebox. That'll help me start up faster. He needs my help, and quickly. Very well, said the workman. And at that point, Peak passed the station. I do suppose that Peak might need help too, said Gordon to himself. Little did Gordon know that he was right. Peak was approaching Gordon's hill when he felt his wheels slip. Oh, hey up! What's going on? The train was extra heavy with more passengers than usual.
Come on, I've done this before, and I can do it now.
Then there was trouble. Both his traction motors suffered a flashover and he came to a stop.
Ow!
Broke Peak.
Hey, up, that's torn it. I can't move anywhere, let alone climb this hill.
I think I'll go and get help, said the driver. He put Peak's brakes on and he ran to the nearest signal box. The news reached Gordon very quickly. Do the same as you've been doing to Henry to me, said Gordon urgently. I need to rescue Peak, because the passengers will be grumbling and they won't like it. So they got to work steaming up Gordon as fast as he could. When Gordon was at full steam, he quickly set out to rescue Peak. He ran down the line tender first until he found the forlorn Peak at the bottom of the hill.
I'm sorry, said Peak. I'm sorry to be of inconvenience.
Not to worry, my dear Peak, said Gordon in a sympathetic manner. You've done very well to keep the express running during this heat wave. Although it may not be for much longer judging by these clouds. But we must waste no time. I'll be crossing over to buffer up to you in a jiffy. Gordon went over the other side of the hill to the points where he crossed tracks to buffer up to Peak. As the two drivers were coupling the two engines together, Gordon felt a drop of rain on his boiler. I think my driver's predictions were right. When Gordon was ready to pull down, the rain started coming. Gordon pulled away with all his might. As he climbed the hill, the rain gradually got heavier and heavier until a thunderclap was heard in the sky. Gordon carried on.
Hey, Hope, I don't really like thunder. Can you go faster?
Don't worry, Pete, said Gordon. I can't go as fast as I usually can because I'm going backwards. But you'll be safe and dry in the back at Knapford station in no time at all. Just hang in there. By the time they got to Knapford station, it was raining very heavily. Goodness me, remarked Gordon. I have never known it rain this hard ever before. And neither have I, said Peak. And a few minutes later, Henry pulled in with Mark and his district. And to think that I was the one that stopped in the tunnel because I thought the rain would spoil my green paint and red stripes. Well, that was years ago, said Gordon. A very soaked fat controller ran into the platform. He groaned. But then he approached Gordon and Henry. Well done, both of you. You know, you're not the only one that is soaked, but you've both done an exceptional job in rescuing these two diesels. This rainfall is what I've been doing the rain dance for. Just at that moment, a loud thunderclap heard into the air. Goodness me! Cried Pete. Don't worry, said the Fat Controller. You're safe now. You'll both go to the works to be repaired before you go home. Because all the water tanks should be filling now, and I'll be able to run steam once again. Your service has been invaluable during this heat wave. After they were both repaired, the Fat Controller praised Pete, Mark, Joe and John for their hard work during the heat wave, but scolded Sulzer for his bad attitude. The diesels left the island, all except for Sulzer, who crawled away in disgrace the night before. The great fanfare from the engines, all grateful for their service. And so you see, said Edward, those deals were invaluable that summer. What happened to Joe and John? Queried Samantha. They don't seem to be here. They were sadly scrapped, said Mark. Samantha then remarked, I know that Sulzer spent his last days at Vic Berry in Leicester. Actually, I can recall this moment when I saw him on the pile with Steve. What's the matter? It's no use being down. You've done your service.
I should be preserved, not you. I will be going to a lovely heritage railway where they'll keep me all in shipshape condition, just like Jenny has. Why did Jenny have to go to the Great Central?
You know, said Steve, some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Others just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on love's whistle, don't rumble, whistle. Whistle up things turn out for the pain. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life. If life is going on, then you forget. After life is more
Mark and Pete enjoyed their stay on the island of Sodor, and they recounted the fond memories they had whilst working on the island. At the end of the week, they triple-headed a rail tour, appropriately called the Sulzer Special, with Samantha leading up to Vicarstown. They would take the train on to the main. At Knapford Station, they were given a fond farewell by the engines. We look forward to seeing them again, and recounted the memories of the Great Heatwave 1976.